Well, good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Welcome to our podcast, The State of the Markets. We are coming to you from the East Coast to the West. I'm Debbie Lucas, your host today. I am coming to you from the Southern California coast. With me on the West Coast here is Lamborghini coming to us from the San Diego Carlsbad area. And over on the other coast, the East Coast, we have Lisa D'Astuto from the Jersey Shore and our Christine Boyson coming to us from South Jersey, Mullica Hill area. We're going to dive right in, everybody, today. We're going to talk about something that you may have seen on the Twitter, on the Instagram, somewhere online. You've seen it over this last week. Apparently there's all kinds of stuff happening about Airbnbs. Is the Airbnb market going to crash? What is happening? What is going on? So I'm going to just do a little bit of a lead in with this, and then we're going to do a round robin and see what everybody thinks on that. So apparently last week, CEO of real estate investment consulting company called Reventure, Nick Gurley, put a tweet out that said, the Airbnb collapse is real and to watch out for a wave of forced selling from Airbnb owners later this year in areas hit hardest by the revenue collapse. Well, apparently Airbnb saw a close to 50% decline in revenues per listing last month in some cities across the US compared to the same period the previous year. So Nick is getting his data from a source called All the Rooms. Well, he put that tweet out and it just went all a fluff there on the Twitter. I read a follow-up article from an online magazine called AdPro, and they say supply oversaturation and falling demand appear to be taking their toll, and that the situation seems to be a perfect storm of demand decreasing at a time of increased supply. Okay, so the curious eye is beginning to wonder, is this a thing? Well, a situation where the nation's supply of short-term Airbnb and VRBO rentals exceeds the number of available homes for sale by approximately 380,000, according to this data from this Nick Gurley. So, ladies, I'm going to throw it around the room here. Could this be the log that helps crack open the housing jam? I mean, we're looking for something. Christine Boyson, what do you think?
I knew
you're first up.
Well, I mean, certainly, I think what we saw in pandemic time, 22, 21, 22, whatever, a lot of people, a lot of corporations, we were seeing a lot of entities coming in and swooping up with the low interest rates and just the available and buying up a lot of properties to make them either just rentals or get into this Airbnb market because it seemed to be very lucrative, which cut out the average person trying to purchase a home to live in. So now there seems to be an excess of Airbnbs, and maybe they're not making the money they're looking for. And as all investors do, they're constantly looking at their tally sheets, right? And if they're not making more than they invested, well, then they need to cut ties. So this might be one of the areas they're looking to go, well, maybe long term is a little better than short term because people aren't traveling. Why? Because, the economy, gas is up, airlines are up, airlines are frustrating right now. People are not wanting to deal with the hassle. And so people are staying closer to home. So they may not be branching out. I did find something interesting that they're saying that people who do go to Airbnbs are looking to get closer to nature. So if you don't have sort of what makes you stand out for your Airbnb, a unique experience and unique location, just being in average city, just having a place, cities are not really attractive to people right now, a lot of big cities. So that's not where people are trying to get out of those places and go get some refuge and peace. So I do think that more of them could open up and help some of the people who actually do need to live in those places because they live and work there. But for vacation purposes, for Airbnb, I think that if you have a unique destination, you're probably still pretty good for those that want to travel. But I do hope that it will open up some doors for us.
Ooh, very interesting aspect. Lisa, I'm going to throw it to Lisa Lamborghini. I'm going to throw it back to the West Coast, but first I'm going to put this little tidbit out there and I'll have you expound on this. So, an Airbnb spokesperson after this Nick came out saying, "Oh my God, the sky is falling. Airbnb market is going to go crazy." He came out and said, Airbnb came out and said, "Oh, no, that data is not consistent with our data." And adding that their last financial report showed more people traveling on Airbnb than ever before. And that this place called AirDNA, which scrapes Airbnb data and also has direct data from about 1 million short-term rental properties, said revenue per listing was just down by a modest 3% following a bumper year. So you want to expand on that aspect of this, Lisa Lamborghini?
So I do know down here in San Diego, they've put like a moratorium on how many more Airbnbs can be bought, because they think that that's going to help the housing crisis, when somebody that can only afford a $300,000 home can really afford a 1.2 to 2 million. So the thing on here in San Diego, we're just a huge hub for vacation travel. And Airbnb, I really think that was called clickbait. And that was so that you would, I was watching another guy that said, this is not true.
Right.
And that it's so that the followers, he's got always something going on. And it's that clickbait to get the frenzy of the comments. And we're right back to people freaking out because, oh my God, what do you mean? And but that's yeah,
right.
I think.
And go ahead.
No, that's
okay.
it. I think it's clickbait.
And here we are, we're mentioning his name and we're talking about this thing that came off. And so, okay, so let's play the what if game, right? So what if it did collapse? Would it fix our housing crisis? What do you think?
No.
You don't think so?
No, because the thing is that ever since the crash in 2010, the builders stopped building. Yeah. And they are already behind. And then with the pandemic, they didn't build as quick. We have so many people now that are wanting to buy, sell, millennials, Gen Z, whichever. Mm-hmm. It's going to be for years that they're going to have this issue. And let's go to this one. They talk about affordable housing. The affordable housing, I believe that they really should make it to where builders, that they can make, smaller homes, not as in smaller, if you want to go out to the country or you want to go out to a different state. But here in San Diego, we have, you have to drive a ways to get it to where it's, quote, truly affordable. But again, people's salaries have gone up. I mean, there's all sorts of variables,
There is. And I think everybody's trying to figure a way through this housing crisis, this logjam. So Lisa D'Astuto, so interest rates aside, I think we all agree, right, that the fundamental reasons for the high prices of houses have to do with lack of housing supply, right? So as far as this Airbnb thing goes, what are your thoughts? Do you think that even like the slightest crack in the thing, could that be maybe what starts a change in the system? Or what are your thoughts on this whole Airbnb Twitter thing?
Oh gosh. Well, actually, I have a property right now that I'm renting. Excuse me. And the owner has it as an Airbnb. Now we're late in August. Okay. So, but he's getting interest on Airbnb as opposed to, like, for us in Ocean City and any of the barrier islands, you have to like book your rental in advance. Like when I say February, March. And if you don't, there's very little inventory left. Now, when I say that, it's always been that way until this year, because I think the landlords that are renting are getting greedy and they're raising the price, and people are like, I'm not paying that. And so what I'm hearing, and to counter that with the Airbnb, they're negotiating with Airbnb now. When I talked to Lizzie, who's handling everything for my client, for that end, for the Airbnb, she says, they always wheel and deal when they call, and they'll wheel and deal on the time frame. They don't want a week. He wants to rent it for a week, and that's too expensive. And since he's just did the renovation, so that's why he's late in the ball game. He bought it in March, didn't close till May, had to really do a fast renovation on this thing, and he gutted it down to the studs. So that's why we're now just getting it. Literally this week is when we're actually filling the weeks and trying to get, renters. But I just think the slack for us on the East Coast for Atlantic County and Cape May County, it's the owners getting greedy and pushing that number. And now that number has to come down because the demand's not there. There's people that still want a vacation.
So
there's crazy.
They just don't want to pay that kind of money.
Right.
That's where that pandemic went. Everything went sky high.
No.
Yeah. Christine, you had some thoughts to throw in?
So that being said, Lisa, with him coming into the game late, excuse me. That being said, he may do well to be lower than most people, drum up interest, get someone to ooh, look at this great deal. And similarly to what we do when we price houses for sale, drum up interest. He has time. He's in this for the long haul. If it's an investment, next year, set your price where it needs to be and might know more with the economy and where everything's at. But to me, getting in late, because most people probably made their plans. There's always those last minute people like my family who might go, let's maybe go down for 3-4 days and let's see what's available. You expect that you might get something really high because it's last minute, but maybe he might do well to be a little lower and just get people in there, love it, and want to come back and become loyal Airbnbers. I know I use Airbnb, and the places I've stayed, I would absolutely 100% return to all of them. They were well done, well managed, and great locations. So, but how do you know? There are so many out there. It's competitive. And I did look for generally pricing the value for the time, right. The terms. Do I have to stay 5 days? Can I stay 3? Different things like that. So I think that what maybe Airbnb might be doing is, instead of just assuming everybody wants to get away because of the pandemic and they were just willing to pay whatever, and it was a lot of money, the money is maybe people are guarding it a little closer, being more frugal or selective. And there's now so many in the market for Airbnb. I think it's going to be competitively pricing that gets people in, just like the housing market. When there's a lot of inventory, how do we get ours to stand out? So I think there's probably going to be a shift. How it equates ... your original question to us in real estate for actual sales, who knows? There will be those people who maybe got in, thought they were going to make a quick buck, get nervous and just bail. And there'll be some houses. I don't know if it's going to be a plethora like Waterfall. All of a sudden, we're going to be like, ooh, because it's going to depend on where it is. We don't all live in the places maybe where they're going to go for sale.
Right.
So
exactly.
You could loosen a few gears, but I don't know that it'll be the game changer.
Right. So go ahead, Lisa.
You asked me about, would it affect the housing market? And actually, I think it would affect it in a positive way, because one of the things that my client said to me, if he can't get it to rent to produce what he wants, his goal, he's just going to put it up for sale.
He wants to get out. Yeah.
So again, we're not
because he's new to the game. Yeah.
Because it brings more inventory. And, I think that either way, I don't think we're going to lose as realtors.
Right. Exactly. So what I'm hearing here at the table this morning is that Airbnb market is like our housing real estate market, right? You have to be very, very wise about your pricing. You have to be cognizant of your particular marketplace, right? Because as we know, as realtors, all real estate is local. And so it's location, location, location. And you just have to really, really pay attention to those micro things that are happening. And it's interesting though, right? It's interesting to talk about and kind of watch. And I love that we can get together and share these things with our audience. We hope you are enjoying this. Everyone that's listening, I think unless we have anything else to say, I'm going to go ahead and sign us out here, ladies. Remember to like and subscribe our podcast. If you like what you are hearing, give us a like, send us a review, and we would really appreciate that. We also have a YouTube channel, The State of the Markets from East Coast to West. Go on over there if YouTube is your thing. Our website, you can go on over there. We have a free newsletter for you. And you know what? If you have a question about anything you've heard us chat about or something that you want us to chat about, send us an email and we will happily discuss that on our podcast. Hey, be sure and like and heart and send us all the love you can. We really appreciate you. And we're so glad you join us each and every time. Wishing everyone a lovely season, and we'll see you next time.